Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back today to this Williams career on Motorsport Manager. We're back with the resurrection of Williams save that we are doing at the moment. Still doing pretty well. The last race we finished outside the points. This time we have the Belgium Grand Prix, the Ardennes Grand Prix, the equivalent of the Spa track in real life. The top speed is crucial, engine crucial, front wing crucial. The gearbox as well is useful. None of those which are any good in our car. Our car is just bad overall. We did manage to briefly go above Sauber for the first time this season. As in regards to performance of the car, we have now slipped back down to 10th. Maybe we can pick that up because if you've watched the previous videos, you will know I've got a restricted upgrade schedule. I can only bring upgrades at certain Grand Prix. The next one is the next Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, where we've got an engine upgrade for both cars and a rear wing for Robert Kubica, which will mean Sergei Sorokin gets Kubica's old win. So we've got some improvements there which might move us up. As you can see, the engine will be able to get to a level which is quite a bit better than average. All the other parts are a long way below average, which is what this little arrow signifies. At the moment, our not the gearbox, we don't want to look at the engine at the moment, is 8th. If we put that new engine in, hopefully we can get up to 5th place. So we're currently working on that at the moment. In the last video, I sort of scheduled what we were doing to be ready for Ardennes. For some reason, I've now moved it on so it will all be ready just in time, hopefully. 14 days away, 27 days after the race, this will be ready. It's not too close, is it? We might have to sort of re-up this. I'm just not sure what are we going to be like for getting these. We'll just have to sort of keep an eye on it as I build towards the Milan Grand Prix. Might have to go away from the performance side just to get the engine and rear wing reliable enough, but the engine does make another little bit of an improvement, a 906. We're picking up about 70 points on one of the engines, so hopefully that's going to help Kubica get maybe a few more points finishes towards the end of the season. Kubica currently on 23 points, 9th in the championship. Vettel and Ricciardo battling it out at the top. Lewis Hamilton recently has been coming back strong. He won the last race, his first win of the season. As you can see, he's had a lot of podiums this season, just 2 races where he's finished off the podium. Ricciardo, meanwhile, has missed the podium 3 times, and Vettel has missed the podium twice in Portugal and South Africa. But anyway, other than that, there's not much to get through. We've got everything covered upgrade wise. What we're doing, we're currently just focusing on next year's car. Once we've put this engine and rear wing in, there's going to be no new upgrades going in our car for the rest of the season. Since we're pretty much safe, we're sort of focusing on everything else for next year. What think parts that would be too risky for this year that we're going to slide into next year's car, slide it onto next year's schedule. So that is pretty much everything. So we'll just go and sort out the tyres as usual. It's just 843 is what we usually run. Then we have everything we need for practice, qualifying, and enough tyres for the race. And both guys are still pretty much in the same position as how happy they are with the car. So we're going to jump in, run practice and qualifying off camera as we usually do, and we'll be back in a second to go through the grid. So qualifying is over. Here is the grid for the Ardennes Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix. For the first time this season, Mercedes have a front row lockout. It's the first time this happened this season, I think, even for any team. I don't think any team has locked out the front row yet. But anyway, Mercedes 1 and 2, Hamilton leading Bottas, Vettel is 3rd, Max Verstappen is 4th, Kimi Raikkonen is 5th, Nico Hülkenberg 6th in the Renault. Obviously, Renault usually qualify pretty well, but they have an aggressive strategy which never works out for them. Daniel Ricciardo, his fight for the title could suffer here in Belgium, all the way down on the 4th row, 7th place. Alonso a little bit further back than he has been this season, 8th place. Kevin Magnussen doing well in the Haas, 9th, although he has had a front row this season after qualifying. But 9th is a good position for the Haas car. Carlos Sainz in 10th place. Roman Grosjean, who has a dodgy neck, in 11th. Van Dorn 12th in the McLaren. Ocon, who also has a dodgy neck, 13th. Kubica, a pretty impressive qualifying performance from him, up into 14th place. Pierre Gasly 15th in the Toro Rosso, Sergio Perez 16th, Charles Leclerc, who has a dodgy neck as well, 17th, a lot of dodgy necks going around still. Brendan Hartley 18th in the Toro Rosso, Sergei Sorokin not last this time, 19th place, and Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. Bringing up the rear, you will notice Sorokin's on a medium tyre starting, Kubica's on a super soft. They're both doing one stop. Kubica's starting on super soft, coming for a medium. Sorokin's starting on the medium, going to be coming in for a super soft. So it's just sort of reversing the strategies of both cars. You just have to look after the tyres. It's pretty hot here in Belgium, so just have to watch the heat in these tyres. But Kubica gets away pretty poorly there. Finds himself down in 16th from the start. Sorokin, meanwhile, 18th. Seemed to have made a decent start, although where is he? Kubica's lost another place. Who's that? Ericsson must have gone wide into the first corner. Ericsson a long way back here, but even Sorokin's managed to get past Kubica, so Kubica's going to have to fight to get back past his own teammate. He should be able to do that. He's on a lot quicker tyre. But things not looking well for Kubica here in the early going. An absolutely horrendous start for Kubica. After that, a really good qualifying session for him. Nearly said amazing, wasn't quite amazing. I think he's qualified better once. Once because of the rain and the AI not really working it out. I think we finished 11th, and I think he's had maybe a 12th or a 13th before that. Kubica gets past. I don't really want to use team orders here to let him pass since it's so early in the Grand Prix. He's on the quicker tyre, and Sorokin will be messing up his strategy a little bit, but Kubica has to do it himself if he wants to do it. There he goes. He gets back past. Sorokin, meanwhile, drops behind Brendan Hartley. So Kubica now has Van Dorn in his sights. He's on the quicker tyre. Should be able to make that stick, and we're going to have to switch this back to neutral now as well. We're going to switch back to neutral on this medium as well. We want to make sure we've got enough life in this tyre to get through and do the one-stop strategy that we want to do, although things not looking good. Kubica drops back again. We still got other cars pushing? No, we don't. Why are we just dropping back with Kubica? Just not a good race for him at all. His form's not bad, although Sorokin does have better form at the moment. He's once again stuck behind Sergei Sorokin, who's running a totally different strategy. He will be slower in the early going because of those medium tyres that he's got on. If we look, we're not too much different. Actually, Kubica's actually slower on the super soft tyre. That doesn't seem to be a theme going on throughout the race, so I'm guessing it's just Kubica. His form is just dropping off at the moment. He's gone down to a 5.7, and there we see even Brendan Hartley managed to get back past him, but no, doesn't make it stick. They're fighting over it. No, Hartley does make that stick, so Kubica behind in the early going, although gets back past Hartley again, falling behind Sorokin though. Just not what we wanted from the start of this race at all. We went for the quicker tyre in the hopes that he'd be able to be pushing around 11th place. It hasn't worked. He's about 3 seconds back. At least we do have our A team back for the pit stop, so we might be able to pick up a second over some teams in the pits, although a second is not really going to do much for us at the moment. So what is the point? 20 laps we can about do. We need to get this through another 4 laps, so maybe at some point we can push on this tyre, although we don't have much room to push, and that is the problem. Sorokin, meanwhile, is 6/10 behind Charles Leclerc in front. So what looked like a promising Grand Prix after qualifying has quickly turned into a nightmare here. Kubica all the way down in 18th place. Hopefully working through the pit stops is going to gain us some time. A couple of cars might try to do 2 stops. Hulkenberg is going to be doing 2, I would guess. Sainz might do 2. Knowing how the Renault have been going this season, they do seem to be pretty aggressive with their pit stops, but I don't want these getting too hot either. So let's cool these down for a little bit. We're not getting back past Sorokin, working as we are. Let's cool these tyres down of Kubica, and then we'll go and into attack mode on them for a little bit and see if that sort of picks him up some time, because he's not really losing time here doing this at the moment. Let's see what his lap time's like. A 1:36.3, so I'm not losing too much time, so we can cool these down. And no, let's maybe do another lap cooling these down, so then we easily got enough life to get onto the medium tyre. So there's about 20 laps left now, so if we do this and then go into full on attack mode, maybe we can sort of pick up the time we need, because we're not losing much time. We're struggling to get past Sorokin as we were. So once we sort of head down here now, let's get back into attack mode with Kubica and see if he can sort of make anything work, if he gets full free reign to attack on these tyres. He's going to get past Sorokin. Maybe we should let Sorokin. So a little bit later now, and we're running different strategies now. Hopefully we can get him back past. Maybe we should have done that earlier. But Kubica's now free to fight with Charles Leclerc, the McLaren, Ocon in front of him. He's going to be able to do an undercut on these guys as well when we come out to a medium tyre. We should be a little bit quicker than these guys as well. So if we can make that undercut work whilst they're doing a few extra laps, hopefully that's going to work out for us. And these tyres are pretty hot now, so if we back up we might be able to get another lap out of these tyres. Or should we get in? No, we're going to try get in pretty early and hope this set of mediums can get through to the, well, they should be able to get through to the end of the race if we look after them. So we're going to get in, we're going to push this tyre to the limit. It is going to get below the 25%, so we do need it. There is a chance, a little risk on the pit stop. We're going to let these tyres fade away. So up to 14th for Kubica. Alonso and Hulkenberg have already pitted, so we're going to go behind them as we come in. Easy, yes, decent, no mistakes on the pit stop. So maybe push a little bit on this medium tyre. We know we can do that for a little bit. Not for very long though. Let's see if we can sort of pick up. It's about 20 seconds here, so if we go up to 23, he should be coming back out. So can we pick up any time on a fresh tyre over the cars that are still out and running on worn tyres? Is that going to get us any further up the field? So Rotkin, meanwhile, 15th place. He's not doing too badly this race. We never see much of him moving up the order. Just the one race where, thanks to strategy pretty much and stretching out a one stop, I think that's what happened, got him up into the points. His 1 points finish of the season. So Kubica now 44. It seems to be, we seem to be lapping a little bit slower than these other cars. Let's just fast forward so we can see we've got some cars coming into the pits as well. So let's just see where Kubica's going to feed out here. Got a few of these cars in front of him, so it doesn't look to have worked. He's up into 19th. A lot of these cars in front, although a lot of these cars we wouldn't have been aiming for anyway. So we're going to start trying to cool these tyres down as well. Doing 134.9, so we're about 2 seconds quicker. So maybe we should start pushing, keep pushing at least a little bit until we see these other cars make their pit stop as well. See if we can make this undercut stick, although a lot of cars are still staying out here, so we're not going to see it just yet. 44, we should be up here somewhere, at least above Ocon. So we're going to see maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places, so we could be up to about 13th or 12th once these other cars come in. But we're going to have to sort of dial back down on what we're doing on the tyres as well at the moment, which is going to allow Roman Grosjean a chance to get past all these soft tyres. Might not see him through to the end of the race, so we might be seeing the Haas pit again. They might fade away before the end of the race, so just have to keep an eye on that. So Rocky meanwhile is in 9th place. He's got a pit stop to do, and we see who's pitting. That's Raikkonen. No chance of really catching him. So Kubica just keeping his race going at the moment. 44 seconds. But I thought we could get... No, that's 30 seconds, isn't it? I was thinking of it so far ahead of us. How did they get so far ahead of us? No, is it something to do with the pits? Why did it say we were 44? Yeah, so it is right, yeah. We're right to just be around in front of these guys once the pit stops are through with. Hopefully. Meanwhile, we're just going to see if we can get onto a pair of super softs for the end of the race with Sirotkin. They can do about 10 laps, so maybe we should get pushing with him a little bit, going to high mode. The mediums can go all the way to 0%. Let's just try to cool these tyres down. Let's go neutral for a little bit, and then we can cool down once we've seen what everyone else has done with pit stops. So we moved up to 16th place. We managed to get out in front of Ocon. Temperature is still really hot here, so Sirotkin meanwhile 6th place, 28% left on these tyres, which is getting him pushing a little bit. 1936, so we could still get in front of Leclerc, in front of Sirotkin when he pits, Hartley, Ericsson, so that's 4 places to pick up into 12th. Hulkenberg possibly has another stop to do. We might even see some of the Ferraris try a 2-stop. We're not close enough to Perez though. So we're still waiting on pit stops here to see where we sort of feed back out. There's 4 cars we could realistically get in front of. as we start seeing these start to lose time. Although I'm not losing much time on these medium tyres, but anyway, these tyres getting pretty old now for Sorokin. So we're going to have him do this one lap more and then one more, keeping like this. He should be able to get in for his pair of super softs to finish the race on. Should we get him on soft tyres? Would pushing a soft tyre work more than going on the super softs? Let's just have a quick look at what everyone's doing. 135s on the pair of softs. Super softs doing a 134.9, pretty much doing the same, although different cars. We usually have the two. Let's just pause it a second. Right, so we've seen Hulkenberg do 135.5s on pretty worn soft tyres. So maybe going on, there's not much difference. So maybe the soft is going to work better than the super soft if we can go ahead and push it. Hopefully we don't have a mistake coming into the pits, and we've got a little bit of room to attack on these tyres now as well. They're not going to get to 0%. Can we make a move stick on Charles Leclerc? No, we can't. And we're battling with the Red Bull at the moment as well. And let's go back to push mode and then into neutral, so we don't come out on the super softs softs pushing harder than we want to. Although we do want to be pushing, don't we? Because we're on the soft. No mistakes on the pit stop. So let's go push mode for a little bit here. So Sorokin is in the pits and will be coming out. Where would he feed back out? 13th for Kubica. Leclerc still needs to pit. So Sorokin is in 18th, but he's got a little bit of free rein now. We might as well push with him, see what we can do on these soft tyres for him, although we're going to have to start recovering the fuel as well now. So there we go, 13th Leclerc should be coming in any time around now, although he's battling with Kimi Raikkonen and doing pretty well. Although 14 seconds, he should be coming out at about 34 seconds. He should be around about with Sorokin. Sainz might need to pit. It's just whether anyone else is going to pit. Perez has started to fall back as well, so maybe Perez is a target for us, although he will be... Oh, we've got Hulkenberg crashed. That is good for us. Hulkenberg crashes, that will move us up into 11th. So there is potential for a points finish here for Kubica, although we're not going to be able to hold off this Force India, and we're going to have to start conserving on these tyres as well. We don't want them getting too hot. We hit the chicane, we're going to have to let Ocon past. 13th, who's behind? A lot of these cars on quicker tyres than what we're on, although they are starting to wear away a little bit, so hopefully that is going to be something we can keep an eye on. Maybe the points finish is a little bit too much outside the realm of possibility. We really need to cool these tyres down a bit so we can just sit in neutral. We're going to have to give up a place to Roman Grosjean as well, aren't we? And we've got the Toro Rosso of Gasly breathing down our neck as well, so let's switch it back into neutral. Don't want these tyres wearing away, even at 44%. Maybe if they overheat, they are going to start fading away pretty quickly, like they might start doing with Sorokin on this soft tyre. Hoping that's going to be able to get to the end of the race as it is. It can do 10 laps as it is, although it will start fading away because it is really hot at the moment, so maybe we're going to have to go conserve with him for a little bit. Kubica, meanwhile, is still in 11th place. Roman Grosjean desperately trying to pass. What is he doing at the moment? He's in conserve mode on these soft tyres. Gasly as well. Van Dorn's pushing as well behind us. So Sainz does need to pit at some point, which would move us up into the points. Whether we can hold on to the points position is another question entirely. These have cooled down a little bit. No one around Sorokin, so let's get him going into backup mode for a little bit, cool these down, and then we can get back into neutral mode for him. Kubica moves up into 10th as we see Sainz make that pit stop. Neutral mode back there. 32%. We don't want these tyres overheating. We've got Van Dorn behind us, who was going pretty quick, but he's starting to try to recover his tyres as well. So fingers crossed here we can hold on to a points position. I don't think it's going to happen though. These other cars that are sort of with us at the moment are a lot quicker than us, and the drivers are about a half star rated better than us, although Ocon's rated about the same. Van Dorn I think is rated a 4-star driver in this game. Maybe not, maybe he's about a 3.5. We can switch it back up into neutral mode at the moment now again, doing 135. So we see the cars behind us a lot quicker, or at least Van Dorn is. he's got some room to push with his fuel. Sorokin not having too bad of a race, so up into 14th place himself. Going pretty well here as we come around to finish this lap and have 4 laps remaining. There's a risk that this tyre might not get through. It's getting pretty low, although I think it should do. It's not in any risk of getting too hot. Meanwhile, we can just keep going with Sorokin. Just keep pushing on this tyre. So can we keep Van Dorn behind us? 135. We were quicker on the last lap, although he's going to start coming back and pushing at us, isn't he? He's got some life left in that tyre. Van Dorn all over the place, trying to get past Robert Kubica here. Got a line of traffic behind us. Van Dorn, Grosjean and Gasly all vying for this last points place. We see that is Roman Grosjean trying to get round the outside of Pierre Gasly. Doesn't make it stick though, Kubica. Ricciardo's managed to recover himself up into 3rd in this Grand Prix at the front, so not going to drop too far behind Vettel. That will put him 4 points behind, I think. Yes, it does. Lewis Hamilton, though, recovering. It's going to be pretty interesting going into the final races of the season. If they can keep this up, Vettel, Ricciardo and Hamilton, it's going to be a 3-way race. Mercedes have recovered with this race at the moment, are top of the constructors. If they hold on to this, Ferrari lagging a little bit behind. Red Bull just 1 point behind the Mercedes as things stand. Kubica, though, doing really well, still holding these cars up, managing to get a little bit of a gap between him and Van Dorn at the moment. Doing a 134.8, although pretty similarly matched. And Sorokin getting on the back of this queue as well. So maybe if we back up for a little bit and then we can... That would keep him like that, although we're going to let... That is going to let Leclerc past. We've recovered the fuel as well, so for the last lap we're going to be able to go into high mode, which might be able to see off these other teams as we see Van Dorn going to recovery mode on his tyres. He's still pushing the fuel load at the moment, although we've got a nice second gap here, so maybe we are going to be able to go into high mode for the last lap on both of our cars. Sorokin, not a bad place for him if he can finish there. Van Dorn coming back now, starting to go forward on that, and we're going to go high mode. Have we got room to push on this tyre? We're not going to risk it until we get a little bit further around. We can go into push mode and high mode for Sorokin. This tyre should be able to last to the end. So Van Dorn, meanwhile, is half a second behind. He's pushing his tyre as well. Should we go ahead and push ours in the hope that we can keep him behind us? Van Dorn into the chicanes, getting pretty close. We'll go back to neutral at 10% with this tyre. It can get down to 0% this medium. It looks like we're just about going to be able to hang on to this points place. Fuel getting pretty close. We're going to go medium for a little bit here. And then as we exit this series of corners, we will put back everything back up into push and high mode in the hopes of holding Van Dorn off. 7%, but we're not losing time. Van Dorn now is moving back. Sorokin, meanwhile, he's got a little bit of time left. We go into attack mode with him to see if we can keep him ahead. On the line, he does manage to stay ahead of Leclerc, or gets past him as well, maybe at least. I think he must have been behind him because he was 15, moves up to 14th. So a decent race there for Sorokin. Another points finish for Kubica, which is amazing in this car, up into 10th place. Obviously the crash of Hulkenberg helped us, although I don't think he would have been anywhere near. As we've seen before, Renault have been really struggling this season. Have we got any cars with risky parts in their car? Can we move even further above 10th? Nope, no one risking any risky parts, or at least getting caught with any risky parts in the car. So who finished? Kimi Räikkönen finished pretty low. Red Bulls. Ricciardo managed to get above Hamilton. I don't know whether Hamilton made another pit stop or what, but he's moved down to 3rd, which means Red Bull will still be ahead in the... Oh no, that's not even the race result. What am I even looking at? Daniel Ricciardo, yeah, finished 3rd. Sebastian Vettel. So yeah, so we've got the title picture the same as it was when we looked at it a second ago during the race. Vettel winning, Ricciardo behind by 4 points. Lewis Hamilton 15 points behind, so that's going to be interesting going further forward. If... Lewis can keep his form going. I think that's his second win in a row after not winning for the first 7 or so races. And Mercedes are 1 point ahead in the constructors standings. Ferrari lagging behind pretty much all down to Kimi Räikkönen not having the best of season. Red Bull 1 point behind. So as we see, Kubica now 100% happy. Lance Stroll is not happy, but he's possibly going at the end of the season. Still unsure of what to do with the driver situation. Kubica's going to be wanting more money to re-sign with the team, but I feel like we're going to go with Kubica since he's had a pretty good season this season. Sorokin has only got 5 months left if we want to renew his contract. Wages aren't very important to me, so maybe 230, which is a big increase as well. Lance Stroll is a 147. What? He's not even interested, as we know. He's wanting 147, so he's going to be possibly going or staying on just as a reserve next season. With Sorokin going, we're going to be losing our second pair driver. If we want to go for someone at the end of the season, like say, a 4-star driver, Sebastian Buemi. Let's say we wanted to go for him. He's interested in signing for us. Wages are fairly important to me, so it means at least doubling this to about this point. You see, that's 700,000. It's an increase of 600,000. Losing the $1 million for Sorokin that we get per race almost. That's an increase of 1.6. The increased price for Kubica of about 200,000. It's extra costs of 1.8 million per race next season. We make about £600,000 per race. This equates, is taken into account if we wanted to put Lance Stroll in the car for practice. So you take 400,000 off that, that's 600,000. That would mean next season we would be losing 1.2 million per race, which is not something we can really afford. So it's either keeping Sorokin on, keeping the paid driver. It's going to be a tough one for what we want to do next season with the drivers. But anyway, let's get through the interview to finish. Sergei Sorokin has claimed that your brakes seem to be holding it. We'll just say I'm not really bothered about upsetting him. It doesn't upset him anyway. Pit crew review. We did a 2.4 seconds. I thought we had... Or did I not put them back in? No, I was letting them rest a little bit more. So hopefully we can improve on the pit crew next season. I thought I'd swapped it to putting the air crew back in, but maybe I didn't. But anyway, we're going to be back for the next race. In the next episode, Milan, we will be able to introduce a new engines, a new rear wing for Kubica, which means Sergei Sorokin, as a byproduct, won't get a better rear wing than one that Kubica is using at the moment. Looks like qualifying might be raining, so it might throw the AI even into disarray. But anyway, that is it for this episode. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Think about it. Hit that like button as well. Maybe go ahead and even leave a comment with what you think we should do with the driver situation going into next season. Should we keep Sorokin? Should we go for a new driver? It's going to be expensive to bring new drivers in, although I'm guessing that's a problem that the rest of the AI teams are going to be having as well. So it's not just exclusive to us. But anyway, we're going to be back next time. Maybe follow me on Twitter as well. There should be a little symbol up in the top corner with my Twitter handle. I will be tweeting throughout the weeks with my thoughts on F1 races and so on and so forth. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you down the road in Italy for the Milan Grand Prix. Goodbye.